Hey guys and girls, my name is Tim. I have a IronMind hub here that I'm going to do a little bit of talking about, some tips and tricks for helping to increase your lift and maybe get you into the sport of arm lifting. You're probably wondering, who am I and what are my qualifications to say anything to this? Well, I have a 97.3 pound hub lift in the Arm Lifting USA online competition that was held a couple of years ago, as well as I have a home gym training PR of 108.3 or 108.5 pounds. Currently working on getting back into the swing of things and building up to 115 pound hub lift. I want to lift 2 25 kilo plates. But just a few of my tips and tricks that I've picked up over the last few years of really kind of getting into this. Hopefully they will help you out. First thing is going to be chalking the hub itself. Works best just to take a nice little block of good soft chalk, and we're just going to start. I normally just give it a little bit of working, come around. This is one of those things that you're going to spend way too much time doing, but properly chalked hub, important. You get some on it and then grip it and then just twist it through your fingers. And this just kind of takes a little bit of loose and just rubs it in to the hub itself. So as far as chalking the hub goes, you're going to spend the time just constantly working more and more and more on there. And eventually it's going to get almost like a soft sandpaper type finish, and that's what you're looking for. So you just keep working, rubbing it to get it built up to that point. And once you're there, then you can just stop, or you can go to finish the little spots that aren't, or whatever. The humidity of wherever you're doing this at will affect how your chalk is sticking. Super dry in here right now. I'm having some trouble getting the chalk to really start to build up. But for this, I'm just gonna keep going. So once you have the hub chalked, positioning of everything is very important. On your loading pin, the eye for the loading pin should be parallel to your feet when you're lifting. The carabiner you want perpendicular to where your feet are pointing. The bottom part of the hub, which hooks to the carabiner, should be parallel to your feet. And the reason you do this is because when you set up for your lift, you're going to want to focus on two things. Number one, keeping it so that you aren't going to start your lift with tension on the carabiner. If I have it twisted like this and I set my grip and I start to lift, the first thing that will happen is everything's going to start to spin once it comes off the ground. If it's spinning when it comes off the ground and you're getting close to a maximum effort lift, that spin at the top is going to want to spin it right out of your hands. So you don't want that at all. Next is how you're holding it to set up. I will, with my hand that I'm going to do the lifting with, grab it, lean away so I can get my offhand underneath like this, so it splits between two fingers. This allows me to hold some tension on it and keep it where I want it. So I get it here, and I'm holding it very tight with my offhand. Now, setting the thumb is important. Some people can't bend the thumb to get that technique. So they're gonna have to just go straight down or at a little bit of an angle, whatever works best for you. You just gotta figure it out on your own. There's really no way about it. But I like to over rotate my hand, put the pad of my thumb against the back of the hub and all the way down to the plate. And then when I start to come around and bend, it catches that skin and forces it to ripple and curl under. And then my fingers, I want them all really close together. Tension, 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 bent arm, and you start your lift. So, key things to take away from that. There was no rotation of the loading pin and the weights as I lifted. And when I lifted, I made sure that the loading pin, the hub, my hand, and my shoulder were straight in a line. So when I lifted, it didn't do one of these where it swings out in front of you, or swings back towards you, or off to one side. Any motion that the pin and the weights have that isn't going straight up will affect how your grip is on the hub. So if we do this one more time, kind of go through it a little faster. And chalking the hand, you really just need to get the fingers. I work the pads, the tips of the fingers really good. And then the thumb, come up onto the side of the thumb, even a little bit on the back, because why not? Get the whole thumb really good. I'll go through the whole setup. Eye is in line with my feet, carabiner perpendicular, attachment point here, parallel to the feet, away, grip it, set the thumb, tension, fingers together. That would be considered a good lift if I was looking for the judge's down command. All right, so we put a little bit more weight on, and we're going to talk about a couple more things before the next lift, and that would be the importance of the biceps and bicep or the brachioradialis in this lift. Now, normally you wouldn't want to tell somebody to do a lift with a bent elbow, but having your elbow bent at a little bit of an angle actually makes setup as well as the lift a little bit easier. But you need to have the tendon health for it as well as the strength of those muscles, the biceps and brachioradialis. So we'll go through a setup again to lift. Parallel, perpendicular, parallel, grab, tip it away, set the thumb. Always go ahead and try setting it deeper than you think you would need to. See what works. Fingers, and then the bend here, we're going to maintain it. If you can maintain it, that's great. As the weights get heavier, if you're unable to maintain anymore, you can straighten out a little bit, but when you straighten out, your hand is going to want to roll palm away from you, whether you're doing it with your right or your left hand. You go this way, and that's going to make it a harder lift because now your fingers and your thumb are working to keep it from trying to twist out of your hand. So a couple more little things about training hub. Things to watch out for. The skin on this side of your thumb is going to start getting damaged. Little tears in it and little peeling on it. So that's something to watch out for, as well as I've had the skin pulled away from the side of the thumbnail like having a really bad hangnail rip off. You know, it bleeds and it just hurts, and then you can't train hub for quite a while. Little tendon pings and pops in the fingers, through the hand, even into the wrist a little bit can happen. Some in the backside of the wrist. If you're training and you feel something just kind of pop into a place, you feel those little feelings, best recommendation is just stop, go down to a lot lighter weight, maybe do a little bit more. If you're feeling any pain, just stop. It's not worth, this lift is not worth it. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, as far as grip goes, if you're good at hub, you're good at hub. I don't feel that it translates over to any other grips. Rolling Thunder or pinch blocks, Dinny rings, even some of the vertical lifts. It doesn't really transfer over. You might get a little bit of thumb strength or a little bit of finger strength from it, but at the end of the day, like, if you increase your PR on the hub by 1.5 pounds in 3 months, great. It probably didn't do anything to any of your other grip lifts, but I mean, let's face it, to have the heaviest hub lift in the world would be fantastic. Everybody wants a world record. So, but we got a little bit more weight on it. Let's just give it a go and see what happens. I have not pulled a heavy hub in quite a while, at least not since my 108, but that was quite a few months ago. I don't even remember when that was. So, again, we'll go all the way through the setup. Parallel, perpendicular, parallel. Let's get the grip, set the thumb, fingers. So there is a pretty decent lift at, this should be about 90 pounds. We got 55, 65, 75, 85. Pin and hub, it's about another 5, 90 pounds, just like that.